won't fight here anymore!
Factory workers are rising against the oppression and corruption of their leaders. Leading this protest is Sangaji, a factory laborer. They're defending their rights against working for long hours with poor payment. Even at a young age, his son Sankaka is witnessing the struggles and injustice laborers are going through, but will grow to save the entire nation. Their cry is met with resistance, aggression, and manipulation from their rich employer Pencor, who prioritizes profit over people. Sangaji reprimands the security guards to let them in and talk to the employer and threatens to use force if they don't comply. One of the protesters hits the security workers with a stone, and this sets off a fight between the laborers and guards. The employer stops the battle and tells the factory workers to send 2 representatives to talk to them. But there's one condition. The protesters must choose 2 people except Sangaji, even though he's their leader. The protesters reject their boss's demands. Left with no choice, they choose 2 workers to represent them, and Sangaji tells everyone to go home. Sangaji is tired of being oppressed and living in poor conditions because no one is ready to stand up for their rights. Unlike others who will work to sustain their lives with low pay, he fights for his fellow workers' welfare. That evening, Kurniati, Sankaka's mother, tells Sankaka to close the windows during a stormy rain. However, Sankaka is afraid, and as he closes the window, the lightning strikes vigorously, almost striking him. After the protests, the 2 representatives who aired the factory workers' petitions to their employees are missing. Laborers think they have been killed by their ruthless boss. Sangaji decides to mobilize the protesters and head to the factory to question their employer about the welfare of their 2 fellow workers. Meanwhile, Sangaji's wife, Kurniati, leaves with Sankaka to visit the houses of the women whose husbands are missing. Kurniati realizes that Sangaji is being set up. The missing men have locked themselves in their houses with their wives after being bribed by the factory employee. They tell Kurniati they need that money. She tells them it's unfair to betray their fellow laborers by accepting bribes.
Well, my friend says his father doesn't mind a small pay.
Kurniati rushes to the factory to stop the fight between the factory workers and the security guards, but falls and injures her leg. Sankaka keeps running to the factory to stop his father and the factory workers from fighting, because this is a setup. Before Sankaka reaches the factory, it starts raining. Sankaka is afraid of lightning because it's always against him. Although he makes his way to the factory, it is already late. He finds his father stabbed and lying down dead in cold blood. He has been accidentally injured by one of the factory workers who tried fighting the security guards using a knife. Sankaka hugs his father's dead body and moans in pain. Rage fills his heart, and as he clings to one of the glass shields dropped by the security guards, then something strange happens. Sparks of lightning emerge from his body, shattering other glass shields into pieces. As the factory workers rush to carry him, they're also struck by lightning from Sankaka's body. 1 year later, after Sankaka's father's death, his mother decides to find a job. They have sold their house and are renting now, but the money she receives can barely sustain them. Luckily, she finds someone who offers her a job outside the town. As she goes to work, she leaves Sankaka alone in the house at a tender age. She promises to come back and check Sankaka the following day. Although Sankaka is expecting his mother to return, he waits for days, but never sees his mother coming back. Life becomes hard, and the only way to survive is to become a street child, eating leftovers and sleeping in corridors to survive. Other street children bully Sankaka. As he sees other street boys bullying a girl, he throws a stone at them. Unfortunately, the whole gang chases him across the streets. They hit him up on the head and cut his ear, leaving him bleeding on the ground. The street boys punish him further by letting their leader smash Sankaka's head with a log of wood. But there's something special that runs in Sankaka's family. They're known to be survivors. Just before the street children's leader hits his head, Awang, another street child, emerges from behind and hits their leader from behind. Awang has lived on the streets since his childhood and become strong to survive the gang attacks by learning martial arts. This makes the street children angrier, and they turn against Awang to fight him. Awang fights each one, hitting them with kicks, blows, and sweeps until he defeats all of them.
Let's go.
Even though he has helped Sankaka, Sankaka passes out after receiving many blows to his head. Awang takes him to his street house and warns Sankaka to stay out of other people's business if he wants to survive as a street child. He feeds Sankaka and decides to train him in self-defense tactics to protect himself in case of danger. Every morning, they wake up and train at a nearby old abandoned train left unrepaired because of the corruption of those in power. As they train, Awang realizes Sankaka is afraid of lightning. He tells Awang that he was once struck and became sick, and something unusual unusual happens every time he's struck by lightning. Sanchaka learns how to fight, and Awang leaves for the southeast. Despite their friendship, they are living in a country where peace doesn't exist. A train always passes near Awang's place once every year, and it's their only hope. Awang plans to hop on the train, but doesn't want Sankaka to accompany him because he would be a burden to him.
But I won't cause you any trouble.
The train arrives early the following morning, but only Awang makes it to the train, leaving Sankaka behind. Sankaka runs as fast as he can, but doesn't catch up with the train's speed. Sankaka's life takes a different turn, and he has to do everything he can to provide for himself now that Awang is gone. He works at a local port, offloading the cargo and carrying the goods on his shoulders. Suddenly, the entire gang of armed street children approaches him, and he runs away to save his life, then comes across a car. He gets inside Dirga Utama's car, who promises to help him get back to school and become a productive member of society. Dirga is a politician and has the resources to take care of Sankaka. Still, Sankaka remembers how rich people messed up Awang's life, doesn't trust Dirga, and gets out of the car. Sankaka grows up and works as a security officer at a local newspaper company. Unfortunately, looting has become even more rampant with a massive public outcry. Despite the increase in crime rate, the government is not doing anything about it. Politicians enrich themselves living luxurious lives while leaving citizens in poverty.
Stay out of my business. I'll stay out of yours.
As Sankaka goes to his apartment in the evening, he encounters a group of rebels harassing a young man. However, there's nothing he can do because the law favors the rich politicians. Instead, he minds his own business and proceeds to his house. Penkor, the wealthy politician who has been ruling for years and is seen as a mafia by